The MMA boogeyman is back. He's here. Alex Pereira. He's finally found his victim, his prey in Israel Adesanya, and I can't wait for the fight at UFC 281. It's going to be amazing. It's the main event. It's quite a while away now, but I'm just going to put my prediction out there now because I can't see it changing. Alex Pereira is going to get third round TKO against Izzy, in my opinion. I'm going to explain why now. So Alex Pereira is Izzy's worst nightmare. Well, for many reasons. One of the main ones being he's already beat him twice, and one was by brutal knockout. That knockout was insane. Adesanya was out cold for ages, and it was with boxing gloves on, which are much bigger. So I do believe the punch is less powerful because it's harder to hit accurately and it's over wider pressure, which makes it softer essentially. So now he's got UFC gloves on, he's probably going to be hitting even harder, and he's had time to practice in them too because he's had his 3 previous UFC fights, which he's done amazingly in, might I add. Andreas Michailidis, he sent him to the shadow realm with one of the best finals of all time. He somehow couldn't knock out Bruno Silva, but Gerald Meerschaert could. I don't know what that is. MMA logic is crazy. Still can't believe he didn't finish him. He had him hurt so bad with his signature left hook. Speaking of signature left hook, his next fight, Sean Strickland, oh dear, poor Sean. He got sent to the shadow realm as well. Alex Pereira is very good at this, clearly. Sean decided to stand and bang with the best kickboxer maybe of the last 10 years. Worst idea ever. He's just a UFC fighter. He only can spend 33% of his time on striking. He has to incorporate wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But he decided to fight the striking guy. And he got what was coming to him, to be honest. Yeah, it's just... Alex Pereira's left hook is insane. I think it's the best left hook in the UFC and in combat sports altogether. If it lands clean, it's a guaranteed wobble on your opponent, and I do believe that second time round it basically knocks everyone out, and some people like Sean just knocks you out first time. Yeah, he's insanely good. His kickboxing is great. His timing is great. He finds a fighter's flaws, which is great because Izzy does have flaws, just other fighters aren't good enough to take advantage of them and exploit them in the right way, because by the time they realise, it's too late. He's already up on the scorecards, he's got an advantage, and he's just going to keep his range and leg kick you, which is really boring to watch, and it's not really what... Is he good? Yes. Is he championship wherever? Yeah, he is, but he's not a fun champion, which is his problem. I do think he's a good fighter, but I missed the old Izzy when he was going for finishes and stuff like that. Like the one against Derek Brunson, that was fun, but now, ever since that Paulo Costa fight, hasn't really pushed the pace much. He's just kind of happy there scoring points because he knows he's the better striker most of the time. For example, in his last fight, against Jared Cannonier, I almost fell asleep watching that. I mean, I was fighting more on my eyelids than he was fighting Cannonier to stay awake, but I made it through somehow. I actually did fall asleep before the decision was even shown, but I knew he'd won it anyway because it's Adesanya and he always wins scorecards. Anyway, this fight's going to be different. Alex is going to walk forward. He doesn't care about the range because he's tall as well. He's got the most dangerous left hook of all time. And I hope he sleeps I think he will sleep Adesanya. Adesanya, he better train hard for this because it's going to be the toughest fight of his career, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Adesanya trying to clinch and wrestle because obviously Pereira's weakness is his wrestling, seeing as he hasn't done it until he got started in UFC, which was only recently in the last 2 years. And that is, if you want to beat Pereira, his weakness is wrestle. Just take him down and hope. However, he does train with Glover Teixeira, who is amazing on the ground, so hopefully his training has been beneficial to him. So if Izzy Adesanya does try and make this a snooze fest and just clinch him the entire time and try and wrestle him, his practice with Teixeira has paid off and he can separate and then get the knockout eventually. Could see a knockout from an exit of a clinch, that could be likely because Pereira also has the range to do that. And I could also see a knockout of like maybe a leg kick exchange when Izzy just uses a leg kick and then Pereira tanks the leg kick for the punch. That would be impressive. But yeah, I do think it will get done with a left hook. If not, I think it'll be a head kick or something like that. I think if Alex Pereira pushes the pressure but doesn't do anything stupid, so if he just plays to his strengths, I think he'll win the fight. I don't really have much else to say than that. this is a bad matchup for Izzy stylistically. It's his worst nightmare on paper. He does better against short people with low range. Wrestlers aren't very good against Izzy because he's got really good takedown defense. Unless you're very heavy like Jan Blachowicz, obviously he couldn't get him off because he was that much bigger. And yeah, I hopefully this will be the fight that saves the middleweight division. It's not the worst division in UFC, but it is one of them. No thanks to the champion. He's an amazing fighter and I do respect him, but I feel like he could be a bit more interesting. You know, you're the champ, you have to go out there and show people why you're the best, not just leg kick them from a distance. But it's okay. So yeah, Pereira, round 3, TKO, you know, knock him down with the left hook and finish it off with ground strikes. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Izzy's going to have success, obviously. It's going to be a very 50-50 fight, but who has a knockout shot? Let's be honest, it's Alex Pereira. He's much more known for finishes now. Israel Adesanya 3 years ago, I would have said he could have done the same, but nowadays, I don't know if it's there anymore. He's very, very, very conservative with his striking compared to what he used to be. He used to be all guns blazing, but yeah, and also it's going to be very hard to counter Pereira, and there's that psychological factor that you can't ignore. He's already been knocked out by him, so he's going to be scared going into this fight. You can say what you want, but you can't deny that you're going to be thinking that when you look into his eyes from the press conference. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. And I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe. Bye.